So we're reviewing for the Chapter 2 Quiz 1. I'm going to put a question up on the screen, and then you can do it, and I will go over it. So question number 1, 10 plus x equals 31. Go ahead and solve that one, please. So this one is pretty straightforward. You're just going to try and get this x all by itself. Remember, anytime that we're solving an equation, you want to try and get the letter all by itself. So getting that x all by itself, we want to do minus 10 and minus 10. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. These 10s cancel out. Bring down your x, bring down your equal sign. 31 minus 10 gives you 21. Take a look at the next question. In question number 2, you have 4 equals y minus 9. So again, you want to try and get the letter all by itself. They wrote this problem backwards. If you don't like that 4 in the equals is at the beginning, you can put the equals 4 at the end. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Or you could just solve it how it is. We're trying to get that y all by itself. So you want to get rid of that minus 9 by doing plus 9 and plus 9. These 9s cancel out. 4 plus 9 gives you 13. Go ahead and try the next one. Negative 6r equals 48. Remember, when a number and a letter are next to each other, that means to multiply. So that says negative 6 times r. The opposite of times is divide. So we want to divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. Those negative 6 cancel out. Bring down your r, bring down your equal sign. Always do top divided by bottom. 48 divided by negative 6 is negative 8. Go ahead and do number 4. Number 4 says b divided by 5 equals 10. The opposite of divided by would be to multiply by, to get that b all by itself. So we want to do times 5 and times 5. Those 5s cancel out. Bring down your b, bring down your equal sign. 10 times 5 gives you 50. So those are all one-step equations, right? In the one-step equations, you just want to do the opposite operation. If it was an adding question, you want to subtract. If it was a subtracting question, you want to add. Multiplying question, you want to divide, and a dividing question, you want to multiply. Moving on to two-step equations. Now, in a two-step equation, remember, our goal is to get the letter all by itself. So we want to get that 3x all by itself. In order to get that 3x all by itself, we need to get rid of this minus 17. Always get rid of your plus whatever or minus whatever first by doing that opposite operation. Go ahead and do question number 5, please. So to get that 3x all by itself, you need to get rid of this minus 17. We get rid of the minus 17 by doing plus 17 and plus 17. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. Those 17s cancel out. Bring down your 3x, bring down your equal sign. 43 plus 17 equals 60. Now it's just a one-step equation that says 3 times x. The opposite of times is to divide. So you want to divide by 3 and divide by 3. Again, always do top divided by bottom. 60 divided by 3 gives you 20. Take a look at question number 6. Number 6 tries to trick you a little bit by putting this equals 50 at the beginning. Remember, you don't want that. If you don't want that at the beginning, you could always put it at the end like that if you wanted to. All right, it's totally up to you what you want to do. Go ahead and solve question number 6, please. Trying to get that 5x all by itself, you want to get rid of this plus 10 first by doing minus 10 and minus 10. Those 10s cancel out. 50 minus 10 gives you 40. Bring down your equal sign, bring down your 5x. Now it's just a one-step equation that says 5 times x. The opposite of times is to divide. So we want to divide by 5 and divide by 5. Always do top divided by bottom. 40 divided by 5 gives you 8. Remember, if you move this 50 and equals to the other side, you might not get x equals 8. You might not get 8 equals x. You might get x equals 8. These are the same exact answer. All right, those are the same exact answers. So those were two-step equations that had multiplying in them. Now you have a two-step equation that has dividing in it. Now you might be used to seeing this instead like this: x divided by 6 plus 2 equals 7. All right, we could switch around the order like that. That's fine if we wanted to. But again, this has dividing in it. This says x divided by 6 plus 2. So again, we want to try and get this x divided by 6 all by itself. So we want to get rid of this 2 first. Go ahead and try question number 7, please. To get that x divided by 6 all by itself, we need to get rid of this 2 by doing minus 2 and minus 2. Bring down your x divided by 6. Bring down your equal sign. 7 minus 2 gives you 5. Now you just have a one-step equation. This says x divided by 6. The opposite of divided by 6 would be to multiply by 6 and multiply by 6. 5 times 6 gives you 30. Moving on to distributive property. All right, with the distributive property, remember you want to take the number outside the parentheses and multiply it by both of the numbers inside the parentheses. Be very careful. Remember, you need to look at the sign that's in front of that number. So this is really negative 2 times negative 3n and negative 2 times negative 5. Please remember that a negative times a negative is a positive. Go ahead and do question number 8, please. You will get a decimal answer for this one. Negative 2 times negative 3n is a positive 6n because the negative times a negative is a positive. Negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10. So we're going to write plus 10. Bring down your equals 13. Now you just have a two-step equation just like the ones that we did. We want to try and get the 6n all by itself, so we have to get rid of that plus 10 by doing minus 10 and minus 10. Bring down your 6n, bring down your equal sign. 13 minus 10 is 3. Divide by 6, divide by 6. Be very, very, very careful here. Remember, it is always top divided by bottom when you divide. So you're doing 3 divided by 6. 3 divided by 6, make sure you use a calculator, is 0.5. Be very careful. If you got 2 as your answer, you did bottom divided by top instead of top divided by bottom. You have to know the difference for your quiz on Thursday. You have to know the difference between combining like terms and when variables are on different sides of the equal sign. You have to be very careful. Notice what we're looking at here. We have letters on the same side of the equal sign, and we have letters on different sides of the equal sign, right? When they're on the same side of the equal sign, all that we want to do is we want to add together our like terms, right? So we want to, when they're on the same side of the equal sign, you're going to go like this and add together your 4x and your 2x to give you 6x. When they're on different sides of the equal sign, you can't do that, right? When they're on different sides of the equal sign, this is what we did yesterday. You want to do minus 2x and minus 2x from both sides. So you have to know the difference between combining like terms and when they're on different sides of the equal sign. You can only add together your like terms when they're on the same side of the equal sign. When they're on different sides, you need to add or subtract depending on whether the number is positive or negative. So let's take a look at one of those. Go ahead and try question number 9, please. So you need to be careful with this one. When you add together your like terms, you have to look at the sign that's in front of the number with it. So we're adding together a 3x and a negative 5x. 3x plus negative 5x is negative 2x. Bring down everything that we didn't use yet. So bring down the plus 4, bring down your equal sign, bring down the negative 8. Now you have a two-step equation. Always get rid of your plus whatever or minus whatever first to get that letter all by itself. So we did minus 4 and minus 4. Bring down your negative 2x, bring down your equal sign. Negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. Divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Please remember that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So negative 12 divided by negative 2 is positive 6. Again, be very, very careful of the signs that are in front of their number. Take a look at number 10. Go ahead and do number 10, please. This is another distributive property question where you want to take the number outside the parentheses and multiply it by both of the things inside the parentheses. -2 times n is -2n. -2 times -6 is a +12 or +12. Bring down your equals 30. Now you have a two-step equation, -12 minus 12. To get that -2n all by itself, bring down the -2n. 30 minus 12 is 18. Divide by -2, divide by -2, and you should get n equals -9. In the next one, you have some decimals, not a big deal. All right, you should be able to solve it with decimals in it. Go ahead and do question number 11, please. This one might take you a couple minutes. So we have x's on the same side of the equal sign. So we are going to add together our like terms. We have 1.2x and 8.8x. Again, make sure that you're always looking at the sign that's in front. So that's a positive 8.8. 1.2 plus 8.8 gives you 10x. Bring down everything that we didn't use yet. So bring down your minus 3.4, bring down your equal sign, bring down your 26.6. Now you just have a normal two-step equation. So we want to get that 10x all by itself. So we want to add 3.4 to both sides. Bring down your 10x, 26.6 plus 3.4 gives you 30. Divide by 10 to get that x all by itself. Top divided by bottom, 30 divided by 10 gives you 40. Go ahead and try this one, please. We have n's on the same side of the equal sign. This time you have 3 of them instead of 2 of them. So we want to add together our like terms. You're adding together a 4.5, a 4.5, and a -2.2. When you add those together, you get 6.8n equals 13.6 when we bring it down. This is now just a one-step equation. So divide by 6.8. Divide by 6.8, top divided by bottom, you get that n equals 2. 2 more. Take a look at this one. Now, again, be very, very careful on this one. You have letters on both sides of the equal sign. This is like the question that we did yesterday, the questions that we did yesterday. Remember, you cannot add together your like terms. You cannot do that. All right. You have letters on both sides. So you need to either subtract a letter from both sides if it's a positive letter, or add a letter to both sides if it's a negative letter. Go ahead and do question number 13, please. I would suggest working with your smaller letter first, because that way you'll work with less negatives. You want to get all the letters onto one side. So I would work with the 2x, but you could have subtracted 4x from both sides also. We want those two x's to cancel out. Be very careful. You need to bring down a negative 10 right there. It's a negative 10 because of the minus sign in front of the 10, equals 2x plus 20. So now you just have a two-step equation, minus 20 minus 20. So we have negative 30 equals 2x. Divide by 2, divide by 2. You get negative 15 equals x. Again, be very, very careful with this part. You had to bring down a negative sign in front of that. The last one. Go ahead and try this one. Again, be very careful. Remember, anytime that they give you a letter that's all by itself, there is really a 1 in front of it. So that really says 8 minus 1x. Go ahead and do number 14, please. This is the last one. You have your choice what letter you want to work with. If you wanted to, you could do minus 3x and minus 3x. You could do it that way if you wanted to, but I would not suggest doing it that way. The way that I would suggest is working with the smaller of the two letters. I would work with the negative 1. You get rid of the negative 1x by adding 1x to both sides. That way those cancel out or zero out. So now I have 4x plus 4 equals 8, minus 4 minus 4. So I have 4x equals 4, divide by 4, divide by 4, and you get x equals 1. So those are what your quiz questions look like for Thursday. All right, your homework today is the Chapter 2 Quiz 1 review homework in Schoology. It is not in Class Kick, it is in Schoology. You have a quiz on Thursday this week. Does anyone have any questions?